Okay, coming back to it. I don't know if you can see it very well, but there's a little bit of silver settling there at the bottom of this bucket. But I want to show you the difference between a good x-ray and a bad x-ray. Okay, you see that's very, very shiny. Both sides, very, very shiny. I'll put it in the chlorine bleach. And let's see. No reaction on this side. And no reaction on that side. The reason for it is that it doesn't use silver to produce it. It's more like a photocopy. Very similar to what you do with your, go to the library and make a photocopy, or go to one of the retail trade shows. Now here we have an x-ray with silver emulsion on it. We see that's fairly dull on one side and very reflective on the other side. The dull side is the side that has the silver. And you'll see as I put it in, within 3 seconds or so, it will start reacting with the chlorine bleach, creating a series of bubbles. There we go. You can see that. That's as the silver reacts with the chlorine in the bleach to create silver chloride, releasing oxygen. And you can see the black. That's all silver coming off the x-ray. I prefer to do a little dipping action. You can just let it sit here and eat away and then shake it off. I prefer to use a dipping action because you're peeling off a molecular layer or two at a time with the chlorine bleach. And get the foam out of the way, and you can see all that silver floating in the chlorine bleach. So it's still silver chloride in solution. And the hardest bit is this tailing edge here, because of the surface tension. Wants to keep along the edge. Put it in for a few seconds. You may see that fine line of white foam being created. And you can see the black, which is this silver chloride, silver oxide coming off the x-rays. And now, because we're dealing with such minute amounts, we don't want to waste any. We'll then go and wash this in 2 pails of water. The first one will take off most of the chlorine off the film. I'm still trying to get rid of the last bit here. Okay, that's pretty good. Move that out of the way so you have more of a white background there. And then we go into a clean wash. This is mostly clear tap water. Just trying to get the chlorine off. And any last bits of silver. And because you can see all those bubbles in there, there's still a goodly amount of chlorine bleach still there. And then we go into a final wash. And you can see in the final wash, perhaps at the bottom there, that's actually more silver that's come off. This is a 5-gallon bucket of fresh water. And the other one's just probably a 1-gallon bucket of fresh water. But because of the chlorine content, it looks slightly yellowed and difficult to see if there's any silver accumulating on the bottom of that bucket. Okay. Now do be very careful when you're dealing with chlorine bleach. I'm doing this outside where it's well ventilated. And even with that, I'm in a carport. I still get some chlorine fumes coming up off the rinse buckets especially. But what I need to show you is to be very careful with it, because you are dealing with bleach. Even just a little spattering of bleach on your clothing will cause, those are just single droplets of the bleach that had spattered. So you do need to be very careful with what you're doing.